Greetings and welcome to video number 2 of the Greater Reality Living program, subtitled Integrating the Great News into Your Daily Life. I'm Dr. Mark Pitstick. To learn more about me, please visit soulproof.com/about. If you haven't watched video number 1 for this topic, Greater Reality Living, please do so first. And the articles mentioned in this video are free at soulproof.com/articles. There are many benefits of the Greater Reality Living program for yourself, for your loved ones, family, friends, co-workers. For example, university-based, controlled, replicated, multi-centered research reported in peer-reviewed scientific journals now makes it very clear that life continues after bodily death. And that's just one of the 11 indicators of the great news of how life is set up. See article number 1, again at soulproof.com, called Scientific Evidence That Bodily Death is Not the End of Life, for an overview of this scientific research. As discussed in video number 1, this life transformative news and world transformative will be officially announced and demonstrated in 2025. This will predictably create a positive paradigm shift for humanity. While there'll be a paradigm shift, we want to make it as positive as possible, and we ask your help in doing that. This Greater Reality Living program will help people realize just how safe, inspiring, and empowering this shift, this great news really is. It can help you have a more joyful, peaceful, and meaningful human experience and help others do the same. So that's just one reason why it's so important to learn more about the greater reality, the big picture of life, and enjoy greater reality living, again, no matter what's happening to you or around you. Now here are just 6 of the many benefits of the Greater Reality Living article, number 72, videos that you're watching now, the meetings, and the groups, both online and in person when those are formed later this year. This is almost February 2025. First benefit, you can learn evidence-based information about life, death, and afterlife. If you like, you can use this to augment your religious or spiritual beliefs about the nature of reality. Now again, reality is defined as the state of things as they actually exist. And not a lot of people know the nature of reality, partly because so much of it escapes the 5 senses and the brain. We mentioned most people are looking at life through a tiny pinhole and then wondering why life doesn't make sense, or it seems like there is no loving creator involved, and so on. Life is hopeless. So your current beliefs about life, death, and the afterlife may be based on religious teachings that you accept on faith. And if so, I respect your beliefs, but I especially appreciate religious teachings that share common threads with other great wisdom sources. A second benefit is that you can expand your circle of kindred spirits by attending the online and especially in-person meetings when those form later in 2025. Greater reality living is easier when you have a support system of family and friends who are also on the path of awakening, self-growth, and service to others. So these online and in-person meetings can help you expand your network of loving and open-minded people. Some people just don't have that in their lives, and it's so important to make sense of this earthly experience and to do what you came here to do and to enjoy it. Have the greatest life you've envisioned. Third benefit, you can share your spiritually transformative experiences with others. Many people have had near-death experiences, afterlife contacts, extrasensory perceptions, and other profound experiences. However, some of them think those are weird, or they're the only ones who have had them, and they fear judgment by others about them. one of the reasons Dr. Schwartz and I wrote the book, Greater Reality Living, and then I started the group, the program, is that we both, when we compared notes, realized we had been contacted by many people over the years with basically the same message. I'm contacting you because my family and friends would think I'm going crazy. There's no one else I could share this with. And then they share something that's a very, very common experience. So we want people to understand this, how common they are, and then also have a place where they can share their personal experiences with a group of open-minded people. And it's so nice to be out of the spiritual closet in a non-judgmental, safe, inclusive, and respectful setting where they can discuss meaningful topics, not just superficialities of life like the weather and sports. The fourth benefit of Greater Reality Living program is that you can help yourself, others, in our world. As discussed in Article 119, you can, or rather deeply knowing the great news, can improve every aspect of your life. The resulting clarity, hope, and vitality can enable you to brighten the corner where you are, share your greatest gifts, better handle your daily demands that we all have, and still have energy left over to help others in our world. We'll discuss how you can do that on local, state, national, and international levels. A fifth benefit is that you can heal old wounds and release needless fears. In this program, we'll share time-tested natural methods for releasing these. We found that so many people suffer from these old wounds and needless fears that can expand over time and block a person from really knowing, comprehending the great news, how wonderfully life is set up, and then living accordingly. We'll share techniques to help you heal and transform yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And again, all this is free. What a deal. The sixth benefit, identify and fulfill your soul's missions. Your earthly experience will be much more joyful, peaceful, meaningful when you're doing what you as a soul came here to do. This is a key part of the help yourself, others, and our world vision. And when enough people share their greatest gifts, the problem in our world will be addressed. I see this as like a giant jigsaw puzzle. And as enough people put their piece in place, then eventually the big picture can be seen, can be visualized. If you work with puzzles, you know what I'm talking about. So there are other benefits, but this gives you an idea of how you, others in our world, can benefit from the Greater Reality Living program. Now, Dr. Schwartz and I put together what we call the LIVES formula, L-I-V-E-S, and that describes 5 keys to Greater Reality Living. And you can remember using the acronym. L stands for learn the evidence for the great news. I is for internalize the big picture of life. V, vitalize and balance yourself holistically. E, enjoy the greatest life you've envisioned. And S, in the LIVES acronym, serve others and make our world a better place. Again, the U under 4, create the greatest life you have envisioned, refers to your real self, your higher consciousness, the totality of your energy, your soul. I make this distinction because the highest version of you may have goals and missions that are different from what your temporary earthly self, your brain-based consciousness, might want. Ideally, your brain-based consciousness is congruent with your transcendent source of consciousness. They're on the same wavelength. They're communicating and working congruently. And that's part of what this program is about, to help you do that, to entrain your dual source of consciousness. That's when life really gets fun and you realize it is an exciting adventure and totally safe. So I'll share in this program basic information and resources to help you achieve these 5 keys, more about the LIVES formula. However, explaining everything about the formula is too involved to share, and that's why we wrote the book, Greater Reality Living, and the Big Picture of Life for younger people. Again, the ebooks are only $12 each, but if you can't afford them, email me, mark@soulproof.com, and we'll send you the free ebook. Who is the Greater Reality Living program for, or who's it designed for the most? Well, first, it offers evidence-based information and resources that provide much hope, inspiration, and empowerment for all people. However, based on my experience, the people who are most motivated to learn the information and implement the resources include those who are grieving the bodily death of a loved one, who fear their own transition from Earth. They may not be in the process of dying, but they just fear it, as many people do. Those who are struggling with the suicide of a dear one. Those who are in the process of dying themselves. Those struggling with failed relationships, physical and/or mental imbalances, and thus symptoms, broken dreams, financial loss, lack of purpose, unemployment, isolation, addicted loved ones. Hello, that's everybody, I know at least. Those who are considering suicide to change worlds. This program's also for people who are mourning the passing of a beloved pet, who are wrestling with past religious, cultural, and/or educational teachings that don't make sense to them now. Those searching for evidence-based answers to life's biggest questions. Those who need safe, effective, and affordable holistic solutions for their toughest challenges. People who desire to enjoy the greatest life they've envisioned, who yearn to know and fulfill their highest purposes, that is, soul's missions for being on Earth. People who want to help others in our world, and finally, those who are more advanced souls, high-energy people, who, especially after they've had one or more spiritually transformative experiences. So if you fall into one or more of those groups, Greater Reality Living program is for you. Now I want to share more about that LIVES formula, more about each of the 5 keys. And the first is learn the evidence for the great news. Very high degrees of certainty exist for the great news based on scientific, clinical, and experiential evidence. So statements 1, 2, and 11, that is, that life continues after bodily death, that you can continue relationships with loved ones who have passed on, and the soul phone technology, are based on definitive scientific research at the University of Arizona using controlled, blinded, replicated, and multi-centered studies published in peer-reviewed scientific journals. Also, statement number 2 about being able to visit with loved ones, now loved ones who have changed worlds, now and when you pass on, is also based on double-blinded laboratory research with results published in papers at 5 universities or institutes. So for more information about the scientific research, see article number 1. Statements number 3 through 10, little things like you are one with the one and part of source, are based on clinical research by physicians, psychologists, and/or university professors in the fields of near-death experiences, past life memories, perinatal experiences, life between lives input, shared death experiences, terminal lucidity cases, and deathbed visions. And see article number 60 to learn more about this clinical evidence. And then experiential evidence, again based on first-hand experiences, although not validated like scientific and clinical data, adds further validity, inference about all the items, 1 through 10. And this category of evidence, again based on first-hand experiences, include afterlife contacts, out-of-body experiences, electronic voice phenomena, and instrumental transcommunication, and other first-hand experiences. And see article number 115 to learn more about that. Now, an evidence of all the collective evidence, an overview of all the collective evidence is in the book Greater Reality Living by Dr. Gary Schwartz and myself, as well as my books, The Afterlife Evidence and Soul Proof. The I in the Lies formula stands for internalize the great news. I found a quote by Aristotle from the 3rd century BC, and he said, "Let us live as if we were immortal." And that's a profound statement, especially so long ago. But now in 2025, we can state much more assuredly, we are immortal. Let us live accordingly. How to internalize this great news is going to vary for different people. So again, just knowing the list, memorizing it, when you have it in your DNA, when you really, really understand it, you know it's true, you awaken to that. It's like being reborn when you see how life is really set up. That's when the changes occur. So how to internalize it? For some, it might involve further study of the scientific, clinical, and experiential evidence. Others may want to revisit their first-hand experiences and consider the authenticity and meaning of them. For example, have you glimpsed a loved one out of the corner of your eye, felt their presence, seen pictures fall over or tilt, TV turning on and off, having very meaningful dreams that seem like a real visit, and possibly because they were. Some people may want to heal old wounds and process needless fears and release limited religious teachings, and to learn different ways to do this and more deeply know the great news. See article number 123, which is entitled 11 Ways to Deeply Internalize the Great News. I can't go over all that in this video. The V in the Lies formula: vitalize and balance yourself holistically. The greatest life you have envisioned flows best when your brain-based and transcendent sources of consciousness, as mentioned, are clear, energized, and communicating. But it's very difficult to know and show your highest potentials, remember who you really are, why you're here, when you're suffering with chronic illness, fatigue, depression, anxiety, and other common symptoms. I was a holistic physician for 37 years, and I saw firsthand many, many people feel that way. They just don't talk about it, in social settings. The good news is that the great majority of the symptoms that so many people suffer with are preventable, or once they form, they're treatable with natural methods, what I call sane approaches: safe, affordable, natural, and effective. So that's why it's so important for you to care for the temple of your soul, this earthly vehicle that gets you from womb to tomb. Your total self, your consciousness, your life force, is much more than this human form, but having a healthy body and brain during this earthly experience is very helpful for helping yourself, others in our world. Again, I can't begin to cover all the information in this video, in this article, but here are the resources. My book, Radiant Wellness, with the subtitle, A Holistic Guide for Optimal Earthly Experiences, shares my insights and knowledge after helping many, many people in different healthcare settings for over 50 years. Hospitals, pastoral counseling settings, mental health centers as a clinical psychologist, and holistic private practice. Following these tried and true guidelines is especially important if you're more sensitive, empathic, and or evolved. And to learn more about that very important distinction, see articles number 23, Are you more evolved and sensitive? And article number 117, You Might Be More Evolved If. Basically, people with higher energies, that is, more evolved souls, require, likewise, higher and finer ways of living, self-care and natural care, what you eat, how you care for yourself. And if these more sensitive, evolved people don't get that, they suffer inordinately compared to the beginner souls who can sometimes do about anything without paying for it. So check those articles out. Articles to help you understand more about this: Vitalize Yourself Holistically. Number 12, Holistically Fine-Tuning Yourself. 26, Holistic Solutions for, quote, Mental Symptoms and Substance Use Disorders. 32, About Nutrition-Based Healing. One of the most powerful ways. I've only had one tool from all my training. It would be this nutrition-based healing. So powerful. Article number 33, 6 Stressors. 37, Detoxing Chemicals and Heavy Metals. 43, Harmful EMF, Electromagnetic Fields, and what you can do about it. 51, Meditation, Yoga, and Relaxation. 64, Drugs, Alcohol, and Greater Reality Living. Bottom line, they don't mix very well. 77, Centering Practices, how to quiet your brain. 87, Natural Health Care, things like chiropractic, acupuncture, deep tissue massage, nutrition-based healing, and integrative medicine. 88, Whole Food Way of Eating and Supplements. And number 90, What Do I Eat? The E in the Lives formula: enjoy the greatest life you have envisioned. Again, we've talked about this some. You deserve to enjoy the greatest life you've envisioned. And that can be a wonderful life for your earthly self as well. This greatest life involves higher energies, emotions, and ways of being: love, joy, peace, compassion, fulfillment, enthusiasm, gratitude, and enlightenment. It also can often include earthly success, healthy body, wonderful relationships, meaningful life work, financial abundance. You know, the saying you can't have it all, but actually you can in many cases. So that's something to shoot for. You know, the saying, shoot for the stars. If you miss, then at least you hit the moon. Or is it shoot the moon? I forget. So keep in mind when we talk about these higher energies, they're more than just feelings, because energy is what you are. We look solid, separate, like we can die, but actually we're beings of energy. And those energies then reflect who you are, how you feel. They affect your health, they affect your success in their area of life. What's more, your predominant energies, your degree of consciousness, determines the quality of your afterlife experience. So upgrading your thoughts, words, and ways of being have eternal benefits. Now, some people erroneously think that their greatest life would be all about wealth, fame, sexual gratification, materialism, and youthful and beautiful appearance. And those aren't bad per se. It's having to have them, an addiction to them, an over-reliance on them, and not being able to let go of them when they move on. In other words, you can't stay youthful forever. Now, those, again, and other enjoyable aspects of life are fine when balanced with higher energies, higher pursuits. However, satisfaction from only that list of material things is fleeting and unfulfilling. Many people have learned that the hard way. So ideally, you can create the greatest life you've envisioned. That's a combination of earthly success and wonderful things and highly conscious living. That's the best of both worlds. But if you can only have one, and sometimes it gets to that point, you know, somebody's 95 years old, they're not going to be super healthy and active and all that, but they can remember who they are, why they're here, bright in the corner where they are. So the latter, and the Bible talks about that, you know, don't store your treasures where rust and moth can corrupt. So the latter is more important and sustainable no matter what is going on with you. You heard the saying, you can't take it with you. You can't take your wealth, your material objects, your trophy spouse, etc., your new car when your earthly body dies. But you do take your higher energies, emotions, ways of being, your consciousness, since that's who you are. That's who you really are. So a little more about that. Many people living on Earth want things to be easy, safe, and comfortable. But souls that are more in touch with the greater reality are more interested in learning, growth, and adventures. And again, hopefully you can have a mix of both of those, but the latter is more important. So to learn more about creating the greatest life you've envisioned, see article number 124. And finally, the S in the LIVES formula is about serve others and make our world a better place. Many people have found that helping others is a remarkably powerful way to improve their own lives. That's true even for deeply grieving people who feel like they can't endure another day. I have so many stories about that. Also, regarding helping others and making our world a better place, most evolved people and souls, whether they're aware of it or not yet, have a burning desire to do that, help others in our planet. That's one of their missions for being on Earth this time. And when they do that, at least part-time, their lives feel more peaceful, joyful, fulfilling. When they don't, they feel the boredom, depression, creative discontent that so many people suffer with but don't know what to do about. And then, commonly, they'll attempt to feel better by alcohol, drugs, overstimulation, material possessions, getting praise from other people, a new partner, a bigger home, etc. But as many people have learned, that doesn't work for very long. And soon, as the old Peggy Lee song goes, they feel, is that all there is? And there's much more. So one of the most common questions I've been asked by people around the world is, how do I know what my soul's missions are? I discussed this in article number 21, called Identify and Fulfill Your Highest Purposes. It's actually fairly easy. And my audio program by the same title uses deep relaxation and guided imagery to help you identify what are your soul's missions, and then to create a plan, how can you fulfill those? Again, it's a matter of turning down the brain. And a holistic way to serve others and make our world a better place is discussed in article number 119, Greater Reality, Helping Yourself, Others, in Our World. So be sure to read that and take action steps. In summary, you can benefit from this program, Greater Reality Living Program, in 4 ways. First, read the article, number 72, that forms the basis for these videos, and then share and discuss that information with others to help them and more deeply internalize it. One of the ways to really deeply knowing it is to share it with others, teach it. Second way to benefit from this, watch these videos at least twice and share them with others. And these videos will be at if you go to the top tab of either soulproof.com or soulphone.org, look for the top tab, Greater Reality Programs, and then look for the sub-tab, Greater Reality Living Program. Attend Greater Reality Living online meetings and breakout groups where you can share with a smaller group of people, about 10, when they begin in late spring of 2025. Sign up for free newsletters at soulproof.com and soulphone.org to learn the dates, the times, and the Zoom meeting numbers for these meetings. Again, they're free. There's no registration or membership required. We want to make this as easy as possible for people all around the world. And once things get rolling, we'll have these meetings at different times, like morning and evening, for people from different time zones around the world. And the fourth way to benefit from the Greater Reality Living Program is to attend in-person local groups where people can discuss and implement this program with others. We envision these forming by autumn of 2025, especially when we have the official announcements of life after death scientifically and public demonstrations of the technology. This is going to get a lot of awareness, and that's when we forming the groups. And I have a wonderful team of 2 executive coordinators, 12 coordinators, and 60 volunteers to help the Greater Reality Living and the other 3 Greater Reality programs. So please tell others about it, and thank you in advance for doing that. So that's the Greater Reality Living program. I look forward to seeing you at the meetings, hearing how this has helped you personally, seeing you let your light shine, and the collective effect for many people on our planet. God bless, let it shine.